Hi everybody, it's Chris Van Hillo with the City of Tampa's Visual Arts team. Wanted to touch base on following up with the wire wrapping that we've been doing the last couple of weeks. By using the glass grinder, I can route out a little seam that I can then wrap my wire around, and I don't have to worry about coming up over it. Here's another one that I did. I literally routed out a little seam and then wrapped it with wire. Another thing that I did that's kind of cool is this is a pinch bail. So I drilled a hole and then pinched the bail in. So after this video, we're going to do a screen share and go on aaeglass.com's website. Tanya has some really nice pinch bails. She has the gold, silver, copper. This is one of my favorites, and one of the reasons I really like this pinch bail is because when I make my kumihimo necklaces, here's one that Mai made for me and then I wire wrapped it. If I use the bugtail cord, which is 1 millimeter, I can put a little jump ring on the end, and I can take necklaces on and off, and that way I'm using cabochons, I can take them on and off, and that way I'm using the same necklace over and over again because I just have this little jump ring here. Can everybody see that? So this is kind of cool. If I have the little pinch bail, it easily goes over my kumi necklace, and then I just, take it to the other end and attach it with my lobster claw. So anyway, that's kind of fun. So that's not really today's project, but I just wanted to touch base, kind of follow up on that that I wanted to mention last week. Okay, so today we are going to make a fun, I think they're fun, little pair of earrings. And it kind of just reminds me of a jellyfish. So I had these little end caps. Again, I think I bought them at a bead show. I don't know, C and I went to a bead show and I bought them. I buy stuff and then I never know what I'm going to do with it. And these are kind of cute. Kind of reminded me of a jellyfish because when they move around. So I used wire and various different beads, and I'm just going to show you how I did that because I think it has some fun potential with some different projects. You could do shrinky dink, you could do polymer clay, you could do regular clay. By the way, the little channel that I was talking about here, you could do this with regular clay. When your clay is soft, you just push in a piece of wire and then you would pull it out and you would have that little groove there in place so that you could wrap wire. You wouldn't have to worry about a hole. You could also do this with polymer clay, same thing. You'd have, while your clay is soft before you bake it, you could lay a piece of wire in there to make the channel, pull the wire out, or you could even leave the wire in for that matter with polymer clay because you're only taking that up to 275. So kind of some fun ideas. I'm gonna get set up. I'm all over the place today. I'm trying to stay organized and my brain is just all over the place today. So here's another one of those. I see how I am, squirrel. I routed this one out and then I went ahead and brought these little wraps forward. These are pieces of glass that I did by making my own dams out of silk mat and fiberboard, and that is a video that I'm working on that I'm going to show you guys. But let's stay on track, Chris, and let's play earrings. These are the tools we're going to need. Round nose pliers. We've got our chain nose pliers. Got a little pair of needle nose here, and we have our flush cut wire cutters. I'm also going to use some 26 gauge zebra wire. In the example that I showed you here, I had used a 22 gauge artistic wire. I really like that. It worked really well. But I am seeing a little bit more wire than I'd like to see, so I'm going to try using a thinner wire. You're still going to see the wire. We're not trying to hide the wire. You're still going to see the wire, but it will be a little bit thinner. And wouldn't you know, it's sitting right here on my desk. I can't find the second cap. And the funny thing is, if Sarah were here, she'd go, "Oh, you mean this?" And she'd have it in her hand in 2 seconds. So I'm going to turn the video off while I try to find my end cap here. For the initial loop that's going to come through the top, I'm going to go ahead and use the 22 gauge. This is going to be way too long, but that's okay. All right. And I'm just going to do our wrapped loop. Everybody knows how to do that. We're going to hold our pliers like this. We're going to push our wire away from us. So now it's parallel with the floor. I'm going to rotate my pliers so that I can bring this tail up and over. And now I've got that little question mark looking thing. Oh, you can tell I'm filming from home and I have the shadows back. Okay. Then I'm going to take that small tail and wrap it up so it is parallel with the floor. Okay, so it looks like that. Everybody see that? And then I'm going to, you can either keep your round nose pliers in there, and I'm just going to rotate this small tail around the long tail. So you can use your hands to do it. Whoops, I caught the plier there. You can use your hands to do it, or you can grab a pair of pliers to do it. Okay, I just wrapped it around a couple of times. And then I'm going to take my flush cutters. I'm going to cut off that end, and then I'm just going to try to crimp that little tail down. Got it? First time. Okay. Now this is going to go through the cap. Like that. Okay. So we have a little loop at the top that we can use a jump ring and an ear wire to connect. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm also going to make a loop inside here. And I'm not going to be able to do the wrapped loop, so I'm just going to make a loop. Oh, you know what? I am such a doofy. I'm such a doofy. Okay, look kids. Look kids, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. Okay. Make your wrap loop. Oh, these shadows, the complicated shadows. Okay, and then that's going to go in the inside, okay? And now you're going to do your loop again. So here we go again. I'm going to lay my pliers right down on top. And this is a really long piece of wire. So I'm going to lay it right down on the top of my bead. See it? Okay, I'm going to push the wire so it's parallel with the floor. Then I'm going to rotate my pliers, and I'm going to pick that tail up and over and bring it all the way down. Then I'm going to take the pliers out and insert the bottom rung. Now I'm going to bring this parallel so it looks like this. I'm going to put my pliers in there, and then I'm going to wrap this around that piece of core wire. So I'm going to go around once, twice. I have a habit of going 3 times. And as you wrap this around, you want to be going away from the loop and toward your artwork always, whether it's a bead, whether it's an end cap, because that's what's going to make it tight and secure it down. I'm going to wrap it a little, then I'm going to bring it back because I'm going to cut it, and then wire has memory, so it's going to remember that I did that, and it will help it lay down a little better. All right, I'm going to cut this right here, close as I can. Okay, and then I'll take my pliers here and just crimp that little wire down. I better change hands here. I don't want to break my beautiful end cap, okay? Okay, crimp it down. Whoops, I think I missed it. All right, I can can play with that later. Okay. If it bends, sometimes it gets a little wonky. You just take your round nose pliers, straighten that little puppy right back out. Okay, so now we have this. We have a little loop on the inside, so we can take, I said I was going to try this 26 gauge. I think that that should be an experiment I do in private. So, so I am going to take 2 pieces of wire. Well, I'll show you. I'm going to cut 1 piece of wire, and I'm going to be basically folding it in half, and I want 2 of those. So I'm going to take another piece of wire. They don't have to be the same size. These are probably roughly maybe 8 inches. Okay, don't have to be the same size. And you're basically going to fold that in half. You could take your round nose pliers if you want. Whoops, sorry, I hit the camera. You could take your round nose pliers if you want and make a nice tight little loop there. Oh my gosh, my husband came home for lunch. Can you hear him snoring? I'm going to have to get up and close the door. I'm going to be giggling through this whole video. Oh, that's so funny. Okay. Okay, stop it. Okay. All right, I'm going to take the end of my wire up. Can you see? No, you can't see. I can't even see. I'm going to take the end of the wire up through this little loop. All right, so let me show you how I did that. I bent the end of the one of the ends with just my little pliers here. Just made a little bend so that once I get it through that loop, I have something to kind of hang on to here. So get this little guy out of the way. All right, so I'm going to stick the little bent loop, the bent end through that loop. Okay, and you can kind of see it trying to come out right there. And I'm just going to grab it. You guys can probably see it too, right here. Just pull it through. Come on. Okay, so I have my 2 pieces of wire coming up through that bottom, and what I'm going to do, probably should have done it before I added the second piece of wire, huh? Made it easy on myself. I'm just going to give it a little bread tie, and I'm giving it a twist, okay? And then I'm going to grab the second one, and I'm going to get in there as close as I can and just give it a twist. And I got to hold on to that that little loop on the top, or you'd be chasing it around the block. Okay, so now I have these 4 wires hanging down like this. All right, and I'm just going to start adding beads. Now, because I just did the little bread tie thing, they can't go anywhere. They're not going to go anywhere. They can't fall off, so we don't have to worry about that. And so this is where you have, this is the fun part. If you put that little bend down at the bottom, there's a chance that you're going to want to just cut that off, because you're going to have a hard time getting the bead past that point. Also, I'd like to recommend that when you if you're going to make these earrings, make them both at the same time, because what I did is I made one, and now I'm going to have a hard time finding matching components. So I'm thinking it probably would be easier if you made them both at the same time. And that way you would have all your matching components. So I have some gem chips. I have some white drops. Here are the white drops. I have some 8-0 white seed beads. Here's some drops. And I have some fringe beads that are kind of a crystal, which I think are really pretty. Get some of those off of there. I have some Swarovski crystals that I used, and I have some turquoise here. These are kind of big, so I really think you want to stay with the smaller chips. Even the beads, you could use 11-0s or 8-0 seed beads. I think that would be really pretty. I even have some shells here that are really, really tiny that have holes in them, but I think they're too big for this project. Deb, you were saying that you used your shells, and it reminded me, oh, I have shells, and I thought they might work for this project, but they're not going to, so. Okay, so we're gonna start, I'm just gonna grab one of the wires, and it doesn't really matter which bead you start with. And there's a couple of different ways you can secure your beads down. So let's start with this blue right here. Just going to get your bead on there, okay? And try to get it down as far as you can. I'm going to add a, see, I got a little bead on there? Okay. I'm going to add one of these little clear fringe beads. I can't see the hole, so okay. And then you can do a couple of things. You can take the neighboring wire and you could bring it up and wrap it around the bottom, okay, tightly, so that there's no possible way that could go anywhere, okay? So that's one way that you could secure these. All right, another way you could do this is, let's add a white drop. You could take your pliers and put a bend in the wire. So because there's a bend in the wire, there's no way that bead can fall off. So now you're just going to add another bead right down on top of there. So let's grab a turquoise and add that there. And then again, you can take your, you can take your pliers and just bend the wire in a different direction. The bead can't go anywhere. So you're not just putting bead on top of bead, you're actually, you know, you're manipulating, making it move, making it, it won't be straight, it'll have fun movement in it. I'm gonna run out of beads. These are way too big. This guy is really big. It's so big, but I can't find the hole, okay? So there's a blue one. Again, once we're done with this leg, we can lay it down. So I'm just going to take the needle nose pliers and I'm just going to move the wire like so. And now let's grab another white drop and let's grab a clear fringe. So you're just going to keep adding beads. Okay, now again, you could bring this guy down. I'm not going to, but you could. I'm going to go ahead and just keep bending my wire. So I'm going to give this a bend. Okay, like that. And I'm just going to keep bending the wire every time I add a bead or two. If you want it to be gappier, is that a word? If you want it to have more gaps in it, I cannot see this hole. Sometimes it's good to put the bead down on top of the mat to look for the hole. There it is. Okay. So if you wanted it to have more gaps in it, that's when it's really good to use the second wire. And I can do that. I mean, I could bring that up and wrap it around. I just don't think I'm going to like that. Okay, so another thing you can do, which is kind of fun, is you can take your round nose pliers and you can actually just put a little loop right here. So you're just going to hold it down and pretend like you're doing your wrap at the end. You're just going to wrap it, but you're just going to bring it all the way around, and you have to rotate your pliers as you do that to get it out of the way. So that's kind of fun too. So you have this little like loopy thing there. Can you see that? I can't even see it. Okay, so I have a little loop there. See it? Yeah, I see it. And then just you can add another bead. This is just an 8/0 white bead. Okay, and I'm going to see, oops, I got my necklace in there. I'm going to see if I can find, I'm going to have to dig my chest out and see if I have any more of these blue. That's really big. It's a big blue one. And then I'll put one more little clear underneath it. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to get any more on that particular leg. See, I have a little bit of a piece of wire left, and I'm just going to take my round nose pliers and go put it on the end, and I'm just going to keep rotating around almost like I was making jump rings, and I'm going to leave it. That's how it's going to end. Okay, and it's all bent up and curled up, and once I'm done with this piece of wire, then we will lay it down. I found the little Swarovskis. Here they are. So we're going to add one little guy. You probably won't even be able to see that. And let's add some more of the 8/0 seed beads, the white ones. Let's get some of those out there. How's that? Okay. Put my glasses back on. I can't see a darn thing. Okay, let's put that one in there. And let's see, maybe we can add, this is big, this is really big. These are way too big, to be honest with you, but it's what I have, so it's what I'm going to use. Okay, now I'm going to, I think I'll put a little loop right here. Since that's such a big bead, I'm going to go ahead and just loop this around. Just going to bring it up and over. And like I said, sometimes you have to pick those pliers up and move them out of the way. Bring it up and over, up, there we go. Okay, so I just put a little loop there, which doesn't really bother me at all. Okay, now let's add a, have some of those clear ones. Here's a clear fringe bead. And it doesn't seem to want to go on the wire. I've got one with a small hole. That's unusual. But of course I am shooting a video, so if anything funky is going to happen, it's going to be while I'm shooting a video. Alright, see if I can get that on there. Right, there's a little white pearl. And be careful when you're wrapping those loops that you don't accidentally bend the wire. So my earrings are not going to look alike because I am introducing some different beads. I'm going to put some little gems in here, some little gem chips. And I was looking for these little leaves. Dosh, you remember these little leaves that we got when we were doing the Tree of Life? Because I thought these would be, oh yeah, see, I think those would be really cute. So I'm going to throw just one of those in there just to prove to myself it'll work. Also, let me grab a couple more white. There you go, have some white, Chris. Alright, put white on there. And these are drops that I didn't use in the other earring. Can't see the hole. Is there somewhere? There it is. Okay. And then I think I'll put another loop in this. So again, I'm just going to wrap it around, and you're really going to have to hold on to it. Try to get on the smallest end of the plier that you can. Okay. And then so here's the second earring, and it's all over the place. I could leave it like that. I mean, it's kind of fun. Or just bring it back down. You can bend it. You can have it do whatever you want. Okay. I think on this one I actually used 6, and on this one I only used 4. So they're not going to perfectly match. I don't really think I care. So to finish this project off, And again, I had them sitting right here so I wouldn't lose them, and I've lost them. All I need is a jump ring and an ear wire. Okay, I found the ear wires, actually put them away. Looking at my desk is like looking at a Where's Waldo book right now. I actually put them away so I'd be able to find them because Sarah's not here to find things for me. Okay. All right, so I'm going to try to use the smaller jump ring because I don't think it needs any more distraction. And everybody knows you open a jump ring front to back. Alright, so I opened my jump ring. I'm going to put it on my hoop, and then while I have it open, I'm going to attach the loop of the ear wire. Then I'm going to grab the second set of pliers and bring that back and forth until I'm sure it's really, really nice and tight. And there it is. I just think those are so cute. They remind me of jellyfish. So a great application would be the 3D Shrinky Dinks that we were doing. Whoops, wrong way. God, I'm really terrible with this camera. I'm getting better, aren't I? No, I'm not getting better at all. Okay, so polymer clay would work, Shrinky Dinks would work. You could make flowers, and then these wires coming out of the openings could be like the stamens. Whoops. I'm not getting better. I'm actually getting worse. Okay, by the time we get this whole video thing figured out, we'll be back in the studio. Yay! I know we're all looking forward to that. So, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this. Let's talk about some ideas on what we could do to make this even better. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Chris Van Hillo, City of Tampa, out.